So I might as well make a little video on this electronic load that I've been using in the last couple of videos. So let's check this out on eBay. Search result for the DL24P 180 watt electronic load. Voltage, ammeter, battery, capacity, discharge, USB tester. So this is one of them situations where you type in DL24P in your local eBay or Amazon listings and look for the best price. It says, attention, batteries not included. Exceeding the specified power, the product will be burnt out. Yes, it can be. I have burnt one out. I've burnt a couple of them out. Especially when you start playing around with the higher voltages. You know, you get to 12 or 24 or 36 volts. Yeah, you can run into issues. 150 watt / 180 watt power means, according to the power calculation formula, P equals UI, power equals voltage times current, blah, blah, blah. When inputting 10 volts, discharge current is about 18 amps. When inputting 20 volts, discharge current is about 9 amps, and 30 volts is about 6 amps. I would take that specifications with a grain of salt. So the higher the voltage, the lower the amperage you want to be testing. This electronic load can measure voltage, current, power capacity, power and discharge time in various batteries. Batteries not included. DC power supplies, data lines, power banks, chargers, and AC/DC power adapters. Internal resistance, low capacity, and other properties. Its function is more than that of electronic load meter of hundreds of US dollars, and its volume is relatively smaller. It is more flexible to use thanks to its lower price because it's China pride, and is very suitable for manufacturers to verify intermediate instruments and digital enthusiasts, engineers, and other experiments. File download. You can download the user's manual. You can download the iOS app. Features a large color screen, blue digital transmission curve, high power tube digital load meter, support discharge aging test, which can be used to test the voltage, current, power, capacity, electricity temperature, discharge resistance, time limited discharge settings, stop voltage settings, and other parameters in operation of various power supplies such as USB chargers, mobile power banks, battery and battery capacity, power adapters, etc. Support Bluetooth wired connection and wired computer connection modes. Support 4 kinds of online apps: your Android, Apple, PC computer, Bluetooth wireless online app, or data wired online app. 4 discharge modes: constant current, constant power, constant resistance, constant voltage. High power and large discharge tube test is used internally, summarizing the principle of evaluation of hundreds of large-scale instrument circuits. 180 watts, high power, strong performance, can be used for various discharge and aging detection. 4 operating modes: constant current, constant voltage, constant watts, constant resistance, intelligent temperature controlled fan, high power, long life cooling fan, and it has RGBs. Test voltage 2 to 200 volts, working current 2.2 to 20 amps, constant load rate plus or minus 3%, plus 3 bytes. DL24 discharge power, voltage times current, less than 150 watts. And then you got 180 watts for the DL24P. So the DL24 is 150 watts, DL24P is 180 watts. I have the P, so I got 180 watts to play with. Actual operational current is limited by the maximum power. Please follow the law of conservation of energy and adjust the current. Built-in overcurrent, overtemperature, and overpower safety protections. If the protection interface pops up, please pay attention to the parameter adjustment. So if you're under low voltage or you go over the maximum amperage, it's going to yell at you. And then the package includes one load tester, one pair of crocodile clips, black and red, one DC power supply, a 2-meter PC power online insert, that's your USB mini to USB-A cable, and one temperature probe. And you got all the different kind of screens that you can bring up. And this is what it looks like when it starts yelling at you. When you go over 185 watts, or over 21 amps, or you go over temperature. So there you have it. Very nice little electronic load to test your various devices to see if they are up to the task. And clearly some are not. And especially with some of the grossly overrated power banks and or power supplies, you can always test and never guess. And if you're an Amazon customer, and if it doesn't come to these specifications, you can very quickly and easily return it for a full refund or exchange. So that's it for the DL24P 180 watt electronic load tester. So now we'll go back to the video already in progress. And as you can see, it's, you know, your standard everyday, you know, electronic load. It's an 8-torch. It's the DL24P. It's the 10 amp. I think it's 10 amps. 10 amps of you know, electronic load power. You know, which is more than enough for what I do with this thing. So it has various inputs. So you got your standard, you know, if you want to test other batteries that have leads, you can test with some alligator clips and an input, and then it has a temperature probe, and then it has your standard 5.5 millimeter by 2.1 barrel jack. So you can test power supplies, and then you got USB mini, USB micro, and USB-C. So you can test whatever. You can test your power banks, you can test chargers, you can test charge cords, you can test cigarette lighter adapters, you can test standalone charging sockets, you know, something like this, these little charging sockets, or you can test to see if these things, you know, your standard USB car chargers are any good and stuff like that. So, you know, stuff that if you want to get scientific into and test it to see if it's any good or junk, you know, like on my previous videos with the basis power bank that, you know, it didn't come up to par, and the other video of this thing, the this wacky thing, the Mexan power bank that didn't add up to what it's supposed to be. And of course, this thing that's currently charging, that's slated to become under the scrutiny of testing. And of course, it's got a very nice meter that you can read, and of course the control buttons and stuff like that. And of course, this electronic load also comes with, you know, an app, so you can trigger this remotely. You know, it is limited on some of the features. You can basically turn it on, clear the current capacity of what you were counting, and of course turn the unit on and off, you know, whether you want to have the load on or off. And then after a certain amount of amperage, the pretty RGB rings lights up, and then the fan will start blowing. And of course, it's good for 10 amps, and it has a voltage capability of greater than 36 volts. So yeah, it's a pretty handy little electronic load. yeah, it's quite large, and something like this ain't for everybody. But if you're into wanting to know if you're getting screwed or not, or whether you got good cables or bad cables, or maybe something as simple as maybe you got a intermittent fault in a cable, because I had one of them happen to me too. I had a intermittent cable going in and out, and it was I was having low voltage issues, and I was wondering why my Nixie thermometer was not, at full brightness, and every once in a while it would pop on to full brightness, and you would unplug it and plug it back in, it'd be on full brightness, and you walk out of the room, and then as soon as you come back, it's dim again. So it was, you hook it up to this and see if it can carry current. And apparently it can't carry current, so off it went to get a cable that's capable of carrying current. So after that, not a problem. So it's one of them wacky things, and then you get the app that you can have it sitting somewhere and monitor it if you want to, so I can have this on the floor while it's doing its thing, scrutinizing this, and then, I can come into your smartphone and tap into it and see what it's doing. So, of course, I got videos on this of, using it and setting it up and testing power banks, and pretty soon I'll be testing cables and these little knickknacks and whatever. So a little quick video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.